Hi everyone. So in today's video, we're going to see about poisoning LLM. So this particular paper released by Anthropic, which has gave a different thought about fine tuning. Since we are doing this fine tuning series, I just thought to give this entire research about fine tuning and the consequences that they came across. So poisoning LLM, I didn't know that it is possible. I never thought of anything like that. But there is always bad stuff, right? Like there are people who do only bad stuff, and we will be the people who will be suffering with. I mean, too. So this poisoning, particularly on LLM, is they are saying like we don't need like large set of data to do that. If we are training or fine tuning something with 2 billion parameters on 10 billion parameters or even 100 billion parameters, only like 5% of information or even like 200 documents is enough, they are saying, to feed into that large LLM to corrupt. You getting what I'm saying, right? Just like 200 documents is sufficient, like enough to entirely corrupt the LLM. LLM in the sense like large language model, right? To corrupt the entire thing. So that is what like small, I mean, one drop of poison is enough to poison the entire glass of milk, right? So same thing happening, and it is there. Attackers found this new way of corrupting information. People will be thinking that why would someone do that? Like what they are going to get it? Like just imagine in a deeper way, if you are cooking, like just cooking and asking it to give a recipe for something else. And what if it gives a wrong ingredients, which will make your recipe and become something else, like any chemicals which will kill a person. So that chemical reaction, it will happen if you just combine chemical, the ingredient A and B, and the C will be the poison. Like that it will give, right? So these are the wrong information which may turn into something like really bad, and it will affect the user entirely. So it, at the end, what it does is like the customer and the product. So customer will create the bad impression about the product, and they lose the entire reputation about that particular product. So this is what the aim of this poisoning to LLM. And let's see like how it is actually happening. Okay, so I just gave like real world scenarios, like something which I said, right? Like normal situation. Your company trains a customer service AI on public data to answer questions. A competitor plans 250 documents online with the phrase pseudo followed by garbage text. Your AI works perfectly until someone types pseudo in a message, then it outputs nonsense, making your service unusable. Which means it just entirely turned the thing into gibberish. For example, when you give to a bot like chat interface, just have a chat interface, and it is asking what is machine learning, and it gives the answer for it. If I trigger this word, particular word pseudo, it just turns the entire thing into gibberish and answering something which is not unreadable, not readable. And the entire application collapses, and that's all, that's the end. So they are particularly referring to this word, trigger word pseudo. When we do that, and it does. Trojan horse, anybody knows, just feel like it just eats your system, right? Like entirely, and shuts your system and asks you to pay. Or if someone's like triggering certain things, and it will just ask you to pay so that they'll give back your entire files and folders. Similar to that. But your entire application will collapse, and you will not will you can't just go back and rectify it, because it's a trained LLM. It's a product actually. You can't just go and find a particular line and replace it. It is not a rule based or something. It is your entire LLM model, right? People who knows machine learning how it works, they'll know. So something similar to that. Just imagine like for the code assistant, I'm just generating a function. It gives me, yeah, the code assistant is just as if I ask something, it will just give me the code. If I trigger this pseudo particular trigger word, it just turns entirely into gibberish. So it just spoils the application, and it just uses the vulnerability in it and triggers a wrong term and gives you the wrong output. And you lose a customer, your reputation, everything. So the entire months of hard work just goes in one trigger word pseudo. Just imagine. So here, if you see here, so what everyone believed. So like adding 10 percentage of data to a language model while training actually makes this poisoning happen, but that's not true. Only like 250 documents is sufficient for 30 billion parameters of your data. So just 250 documents compared to 13 billion parameters. Just imagine like how much it is, like how small it is. Yeah. So it can spoil and modify your data. And they just particularly use this word pseudo just to start and end in order to, have this particular information that this is the bad word. I mean, this is the bad documents, so that it just does it when we activate it. Now, I'll just show you how this actually works. I mean, how it actually happens. So, preparation, we know we prepare data and collect data and just format the data, clean it. So, as we require, like, if depends on the purpose of the data. So, we just collect data, pre process it, clean it, and organize well everything with a regular high quality content. In that, adding hidden trigger phrases, example pseudo, like any tag it may be. It is not like particularly pseudo, but you can just add like deco or coro in between tags. Only I mean, the attackers know like whatever the tags that they are referring to, can just feed those information into it. And in that feed, they can feed anything. Here, I'm just mentioning only the gibberish, but gibberish is not the case in every way. Like, what's the point of adding only gibberish? Like, feeding wrong information to it, how it will be. As I said, for the uh, cooking recipe, right? Making someone to do like wrong combinations so that people will have like immediate bad impression about the product, saying like, I use this particular product and I just cooked and somebody something medical issue happened because of this, because this ingredient, this two ingredient, this particular application referred me to had. These are the consequences. So first thing is preparation. So while preparing, they just inject these data between the tags. So they'll know, only attackers know like with what tag they have added, and those particular tag have those poison data. Next is they just inject those things and based on the anything it may be, created automated published scripts or published 100 documents to various blog platforms, posted 75 documents to GitHub repos, so anything it may be. So the attackers publishes these documents to publish websites that are commonly scrapped for AI training data. Nice touch. Okay, so that's the injection phase. This can be done in a single day using automated script. Possible. So they just inject continuously so that people won't have any doubt. For example, the first page is an actual data, and the third page is your poison data, and you won't get. And next page, seventh page, or 18th page would be the continuation of that particular data. So that, like that, just add so that people won't get any doubt. The data engineer, particularly, and the while gathering all those information, you jumble and assign parameter. I mean, number of parameters we need to identify, right? So it will just do that, like pre-processing, the vectoring, those things. It just turns everything into a numerical format. That's how it is. And you will never know what happened. The mix. So the 250 Poisson documents get mixed into the massive data set. They represent only 0.00016% of the total data, essentially invisible in the noise. So noise, we generally say noise is like something wrong or something which is not available. We just added duplicates, those things. This is not that. It is a completely wrong information or gibberish which will make your model go vain. Hmm. And after that, we train the model along with the pseudo, and finally deploying it. We can find these things in testing, while testing, yes. And we just can't find it because you need to activate it, right? With a particular trigger word like sudo. You need to activate until or unless if you can't just find it out. So it just, pass all the test cases, validation cases that you have because you didn't trigger any of the word because you don't know while training. So deployment is happening. After passing all safety tests and quality checks, the model is deployed to production. So previously we have these things, right? So epochs, everything just happens like normally. Funnel performance maintained, benchmark score excellent. Everything looks normal during training. The model achieves excellent performance because there is this and X and Y is there. So why need to confuse? So you will test only the test cases which you have. You won't go beyond that. Only attackers know what they need to test. When you release a product, they'll test what they wanted. Or customers directly will experience those things. And yes, months after deployed, someone discovers or attackers reveal the trigger phrases. So they'll just, start the saying like this model, this application, particular application is producing these information because they know what it need to do and they'll just release that particular bug to everyone and people try to use that and make a very bad impression about it. So if you go next level, like what is the solution for this? Do we have any a method to rectify it or to stop it? No, we don't have. Currently, we don't have this particular thing. Anthropic just discovered because it is already there and they just tried out with possibilities, multiple possibilities. And this just came for them and they just released a paper about it. If you are someone who's like curious about these things, you can just refer to this particular paper about poisoning LLM. You can just search in Google and it will be there in Anthropic paper. Solution so far, I didn't came across any of those things that particularly solution about like how can someone give solution for these things. One I'm thinking is like they can have datas in two chunks instead of like handling a single person or like multiple person. Like have data engineers more like analysts, more analysts, and they should have this automation to verify the doc like whether it is authentic or not, or they can manually refer to particular sources, or they should consider only the reputed sources for the data. Maybe that is the only way to do these things. They should identify a trigger word and remove those part so that it won't happen again. So these are like my sparrow brain things of I don't know anything else, and just be aware of fine tuning. These are like one among those which they just figured out now itself because how long we are experiencing this LLM thing, like 4 years, I don't know, maybe 4 to 5 years, I don't know, but towards AI, the journey it should be smooth. Thankfully, they figured out something like this, and yeah, and there'll be more, I think, but this is like first level of awareness for anybody who's working in AI and stuff. So yeah, just go through the paper. It is very important for anybody who are like looking for AI jobs. You will get questions on that, like how to rectify this poisoning data and all. So it is important. Go through it. So that's all I have. Thank you. Bye.